Hey folks, next to the last podcast, I think. This is the easy one. This goes really quickly. Be alert. This is the easiest naming of all of them, covalent naming. Okay? Now, before we go to covalent naming, remember what covalent is all about. Covalent naming are two nonmetals. Okay, so when we have two nonmetals, those are covalently bonded. So that's what we are going to focus on now. Remember the octet rule. Atoms tend to gain, lose, or share electrons. So this is going to be all about sharing electrons. Okay, you actually already know this. What are these things called? All right, the first one, clearly you should know this is carbon dioxide. Now that you just watched the last podcast on hydrates, does that di mean something to you? It should, right? That di should mean 2, right there. So what do you think you call this one with only one oxygen? Sure, you call it carbon monoxide. Right? And the mono means 1. So now, isn't it interesting that you already know how to do that? Carbon monoxide is something that will kill you if you breathe it. Carbon dioxide is something that we breathe in and out every day, and that will not hurt us unless we have it in large quantities. So you already know those. Well, those are the rules pretty much for covalent naming. You already know the prefixes. You must know them. These are the same ones, exactly the same ones that we just did for hydrates, so I'm not going to spend any time on them. Right? So that's where the di and the mono come from. So here are the rules for covalent naming. And this is only true for covalent naming. Has to be covalent. This is not ionic. It's only covalent. All right. You always put a prefix before the second word. Always, always, always. Second word, always, 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 always. Right? You put a prefix in front of the first word only if it's not mono. If there are 2 or 3 or 4, you're going to put a prefix there. Otherwise, you don't. And the second word for what we're doing is always going to end in IDE. All right? Let's see how that works. So here are some examples. What are they? Well, the first word is oxygen. The second word is fluoride. So it's oxygen and fluoride. Now, I do have 2 fluorines, so I have to put the prefix di in front of fluoride. But I put nothing in front of oxygen because there's only one of them. All right, how about the next one? Well, the 4 means tetra. And you'll notice I am putting a prefix in front of phosphorus. And I'm doing that because it's not 1. And now how about oxygen? Well, there are 10 of those. So that's deca. D-E-C-O-X-Y. Yeah. So it's tetraphosphorus decaoxygen. Okay? How about this one? See if you can do that. All right, well, you've only got 1 carbon, so it's not going to be mono. You don't put monocarbon, you just put carbon. And the end of it is tetra. There are 4 of them, chloride. Carbon tetrachloride. How about this one? Well, that one's pretty simple. That's going to be carbon tetraiodide. Right, again, notice they all end in, IDE. This is wrong. So this is decaoxide. Glad I went back and checked that. Tetraphosphorus decaoxide. They all end in IDE, the second word. All right. Can you do these? Can you figure out what these are? Look them up. Figure out what they are. Okay. Your first one is selenium dioxide. Now remember, where are you looking for these? These are all nonmetals. Remember, these are covalent. So if you're looking on the left-hand side of your periodic table, you're never going to find either of these things. They're both on the right-hand side. Okay? So selenium is Se, and there are 2 oxygens, so it's O2. So do I have to balance charges? Nope. Do I have to do Lewis dot diagrams? No. All you do is just read what it says. How simple is that? Nitrogen, that's N. Trifluoride, that's 3 of them. Okay, pretty easy. You do the last 2. All right, so So I have carbon, and I got 2 of them, and I got oxygen, I got 4 of them. Oh, well, wait, that's not in lowest whole number terms. For covalent compounds, that's okay. We don't worry about that. All right? If it's C2O4, it's C2O4. That's just the way it's made. How about your last one? Dinitrogen. Well, that's 2 nitrogens. And oxide. And there are 3 of them. Dinitrogen trioxide. Boy, that's simple to name those, isn't it? So, that's it. Go ahead and work on the worksheet. Know your prefixes. The first word has a prefix only if it's not mono. The second word always has a prefix. And the second word always ends in IDE. That's it. Real simple. Go to the worksheet. I'll see you in class. Have a good one. Bye-bye.